Hello folks, Bronco Bob here with Texas Best Used Motorcycles. We're located here in Mansfield, Texas, and I'm here today to show you a really cool 1932 Ford. This is a recreation of the Highboy. This is a glass car on a professionally built chassis. I've taken a lot of pictures underneath so you can really see the quality of this build. But if you look up close, you can see the polished, beautiful polished wheels. It's got wilwood parking brake and wilwood twin piston rear calipers. And if you look real close, you'll see the cross hatch marks, the machining marks on the rotors, which indicate it hadn't been driven very much. But it's a slick door swinger. You know, some of these glass cars, you got to crawl over them. It's got a nice, beautiful red leather interior. It's actual leather, it's not vinyl. It's got a nice stereo system. However, I don't know how to turn it on, but it does have built-in speakers right there in the back, and you can see up front there's a couple. It's got a low car shifter, tilt steering column, nice instruments, gauges. Lots of good stainless steel and chrome latches and components. It's a beautiful cotillion white under a jet black with a kind of an orange red pinstripe that separates the two colors. It's got the drop front axle, coil-over shocks, and again wilwood twin piston calipers up front. It's got the Ford 2-light headlights and the classic grille that everyone's used to. This little roadster is powered by a little small block Chevrolet. We don't know the horsepower. It's not a fire-breathing monster, but my best guess is it's 325 to 350 horse. It's got a beautiful chassis underneath, Ford 9-inch rear end. The exhaust, all the components are either painted, powder coated. It's just all finished out to a show quality. And we actually got this car. There's a big car dealership. They sell a lot of stuff on the internet. And this car was in a collection, and the owner of the collection got sick and passed away. And the family members basically split the vehicles up. And this car ended up getting traded into a car dealership. And that's how we got it. But unfortunately, we didn't get any paperwork other than what we can see. We do know the transmission is an overdrive. It's a 700 R4. And by looking at the car, you can just tell it hasn't been driven very much. A few things need to be sorted. For example, the speedometer, odometer shows 7 miles. But it's not hooked up. There's an electrical connection. Also, the water temperature is not connected. Again, it might just be a loose wire. Just needs to be sorted. But you can see, I'll turn the lights on. You can see the turn signal indicators, voltmeter, fuel gauge. And I don't know, the radio is an Eclipse, CD player, but maybe it's got a bad fuse because there's no power going to it. Underneath, the wiring is very, very clean and sanitary. I just want you to get a nice view of the car with the lights on. It's got some really nice LED taillights and a license mount with a LED light on it. You can also hear the exhaust. You can tell the motor's not stock, but it's certainly not a fire-breathing monster. The tires, there's no indication of them rubbing anywhere. There's plenty of clearance. The paint is just absolutely beautiful. Black with the flames. And here's a view of the front headlights. Yeah, it's a show quality machine. The intake is polished, valve covers are polished, chrome alternator, polished air cleaner. It's got headers, and the entire exhaust system from the end of the headers to the back of the car are surprisingly all ceramic coated. So that way you don't look under the car and see a rusty exhaust pipe. There's the polished oil pan, transmission cover. You can see it looks just as good underneath as it does up top. So if you have any questions, give us a call. I'm Bronco Bob with Texas Best Used Motorcycles. We'd love to ship this beautiful Roadster to your door. Costs a lot more money to build than what we're asking for it. And you street rod guys might recognize the chassis and the body. We had one customer tell us he thought the body was made by a company called Gibbons. But again, I can't verify that. But thanks for looking. Thanks for your time. This is Bronco Bob wishing you happy